dear viewers, as we promised at the beginning of the show, that we are going to talk today about the social media, its impact on the social relationships, and its impact, especially during the holy month of Ramadan, how we are using the social media during the holy month of Ramadan, and does it have a social impact, a positive one or a negative one on the people using it? To shed more light on the issue, we are very much delighted to have our dear guest in the studio, Dr. Hisham Shaarawi. He is Human Development Coach. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Hisham. What is the impact of social media on our lives and on human interaction?
In fact, most of us will agree that most of the people kept the distance more nearer by social media. But in the same time, we lost a lot of distance. The distance became more larger between the members of the family by the social media, even in the normal days. It's contrary. It's the opposite directly. But we have it in Ramadan especially. We have some impact for the use of the social media because the usage had been changed. The segments of users changed. And even the time of usage had been changed.
But why you said, sir, that the social media is somehow affecting our relationships? Do you believe that it is affecting the relationships in a negative way here?
Actually, it's affecting in a negative way and in a positive way in the same time. But negatively, it's increased it's increasing the distance between people because we are not seeing now all the members of the family are playing on the mobiles, are using the mobiles for the WhatsApp, for all the applications, such apps, and they stop talking to each other. And we may notice that the son is talking to his father in the next room on the WhatsApp instead of going to him just to say hello. It's facilitating and simplifying the way of communication instead of moving to communicate with people, instead of going to the people to meet them. He found that the using of apps is more easier.
So what is the effect of new tools of technology on our privacy and the way we communicate?
There is a very good research was being announced last week. Was depending on the study for Ramadan 2015. Please don't surprise when you know that the relationship between the family members had been developed and improved during Ramadan through the social media. It was a surprise for me when I read this research results because normally we are losing the communication. We are finding that using the social media as a way of communicating, it's better than to meet face to face. But in Ramadan, we are using it to communicate with our family members more easier and more faster. This research is saying a lot of results. It's very important. One of these results that the usage of social media like Facebook and Twitter had been increased between 30 to 30%, 33%. And another notice we can find, and another result, that the time of usage had been changed. We had the peak of usage between 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock after midnight for most of the users. Now the peak becomes between 10 to 12 only. So we shrink the time and we increase usage at the same time.
But how do you justify that?
It was done by a research of the load of the how many sites were being loaded through the social media application servers, and they noticed this kind of increase. Another notice they had noticed through the research also that the increase in the usage came on certain fields. These fields depending mainly on the entertainments. 70% of the users inside Ramadan are using the entertainment they are using to follow the programs they missed during the day of Ramadan. While they were working, they were sleeping, they are following such programs in a certain time. They find it more suitable for them, more convenient for them.
Dr. Shaarawi, we have to mention here that during the past years, before the boom of the social media, we used to call each other, to greet each other in Ramadan, for example. But now we just text each other, happy Ramadan, wish you all the best. And sometimes it's not a personalized text. We just have a photo with a greeting and we send it to all our members and friends. So to what extent here this is affecting our communication, our face-to-face or our more intimate relations with our friends and family members?
Maybe you are both in a generation different than my generation. Even in my generation, we were thinking for the telephone that the telephone did something bad.
Yeah, because we used to visit.
Exactly. We used to visit the members of the family to say greetings and to communicate with them. And we used the telephone. And we were saying at that time, why people stop visiting each other? Why people are using the telephone instead of visiting each other? This is the normal development which is happening between generations. And that is the differences which is happening due to the speed, the race which we are living in the life. We need to do a lot of things in the same time. This kind of rush to do a lot of things, and the priority, the new prioritization which we did it in our life for our activities, makes the youth, mainly the youth segment, are using such texting better than even to phone call. If I will ask my son why you didn't call your cousin, he said, I already texted him. That's what he is thinking. This is the right way he is thinking. This is the fast way he is thinking. It's due to the speed of the life which we are living in right now.
But that would lead us to lose many links. That would lead us to lose the flavor of having real communication with each other, with our family and friends. So what's the solution here?
I agree with you in one level, and I don't agree in another level.
Yeah.
In the first level, I agree, of course. We lost a lot of things. We lost the taste of feelings and the taste of emotions which we were facing and which we are touching during our face-to-face visits. I cannot advise how can we do it, but I can advise how can we increase such communication. Such communication can be increased through the parents, through the heads of the family, how they can gather the members in some days of Ramadan, as example. My kids normally are meeting the family of members 1 day a week, in the normal days. Now it becomes more and more. It becomes 2 times, maybe 3 times a week.
Usually, or during only the holy month of Ramadan?
During the holy months of Ramadan. Maybe in the normal days, they are not visiting their relatives once a month, as example. So this is the rule of the parents and who is responsible in the family.
Indeed.
In another level,
Yes.
In another level, no, it's improve the relationship, because it makes me feeling more easier to communicate you, to ask about you, to announce something for you. Before, we will not do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, can social media form or establish new ideas in certain people?
Yes, yes. Now the social media not only becomes as an entertainment channel, but also it's knowledge channel.
Yes.
A lot of people are using it as a knowledge source.
So they are not counting anymore on traditional media. Do you agree with that?
Excuse me, I couldn't.
People are mostly depending now on social media to know the news.
Yes.
not on traditional media like television and newspapers and
It's simply we can notice this
yes,
by asking the responsible about the newspapers.
yes,
Why they establish these
yeah,
social media editions for
yes,
their newspapers?
yes,
They did this because most of the people finding the way of reading and knowing about
The printed journal.
exactly the printing journal. It's more difficult than to read
yes,
through the social media. Social media becomes one of the simplest way.
More updated.
Yes, and I can reach it anywhere. I don't need to go to the newspaper
yes,
buyer or seller to buy the newspaper. Just from my home, from my bedroom, from my office, I can read up-to-date news
Yes.
every time.
yes. So do you think that children should use social media under supervision because it can be used by some people to impose ideas and values that are not good? So
The
how
word
do you think?
supervision I don't like.
Yes.
Actually, I don't like the word supervision. The word of supervision, it means I will influence their way of thinking. But I prefer to give them the right education, the right values, and the right ethics, and then I will leave him to judge about whatever he can go through and whatever he will not. This is better than to restrict
Yes.
certain sites. Don't use it and don't go to this site, don't visit that app. This is
So
not
do you
normal.
think that this generation will be different from older generations because they are exposed to everything through social media and news from everywhere? So do you think that they will be different?
Yes, the knowledge becomes more,
Yes.
but also it's shallow. It's more
It's
shallow.
Yes.
It's not deeper than as before. Now they know a lot of things
Yes.
about something,
Yeah.
and they don't know a lot of things about one thing. They,
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they know a lot of things about a lot of things, but it's not enough.
Sir, as we are in the holy month of Ramadan, and after a few days, after the end of Ramadan, we'll be back to our daily life activities and after a Eid. Do you believe that the social link here that we build during the holy month of Ramadan with the family members, it does not continue after that?
The surprise was in the research says that the negativity after Ramadan decrease. The negativity of usage.
Because we are too close during Ramadan, maybe so?
Yes. And the positivity increased with a dramatic change. The positivity after Ramadan had been increased in around 70% than before Ramadan. This was very interesting result. It depends, is this result, is this effect, is this impact will remain or not? We need to keep this kind of change, this kind of impact positively increased after Ramadan and continuing. How we can do this? By focusing on a certain channels, how to transfer the right positive knowledge to the users. We have a very good experiment done, the Bank of Knowledge, which the President had announced 2 months before, and I think this will open a good channel.
So do you think that social media can affect the face-to-face interaction that young adults should learn?
In fact, yes. We noticed recently
Yes.
that the feeling of self-confidence
Yes,
is decreased.
self-esteem, yes, in young
Is
adults.
decreased
Why?
between the young.
Why there is a link here?
Actually, when I am facing you to speak to you face to face, I need a certain level of self-confidence and self-esteem.
Yes.
I need some kind of knowledge. I need some kind of knowledge tank I should have. This knowledge tank has been empty now. Is leaked because we don't have the direct contact. So I think there is a relation between the using of social media and
Lack of
the
self-esteem.
lack of
Yeah.
communication skills as well, even the listening, even the listening.
Even the listening.
Yes, because when we are using the social media, we are not using the sense of listening. But during the normal communication, face-to-face communication, we are using the effective listening. Effective listening, one of the main tools of communication skills.
Dr. Hisham, we have to say that the usage of social media somehow became addictive for certain people, for not only the youngster or the teenagers or the young people, but also for the old people or the parents themselves. Because you can find, even in a coffee shop, in a restaurant, a family sitting, each one is looking and maybe chatting or searching Facebook or whatsoever. So to what extent this became a problematic thing? Because we are not talking anymore, we are not having this normal conversation. We are chatting.
And family time is eroding.
Yeah.
There is no family time now.
Exactly, yes. Let me be back again in another generation before.
Yes.
In 70th,
Yes.
it was one of the signs that you are in a good manner or in a good level of financial standards to have a TV in each room in the house.
Yes.
This impacted a very bad impact on the family, because each person in the family
Is watching a TV.
watching his TV in his room, and he is not communicating
Yes.
with the others. It's the same. The problems are coming back and back again. Each
Just
generation
developing. The
in
idea
another
developing.
ways,
Yes.
in
Yes.
another ways, and in more severe, I think the best thing is the example. The father and mother should act as an example for the kids.
They are not, unfortunately, Dr. Hisham, as I just said, because even if you are out with your family to have quality time, to enjoy, to be together, and yet you are not enjoying that time and you are chatting or you are on your social media. So we are losing a lot here.
We need to have me time.
Yeah, exactly. Me and family time or friends
That
time.
is me time. Me time for the family, me time for myself as an example, and not using the social media as a way of work, as a way to life, as a way to communicate. As example, I told myself I will not use the social media after 8 o'clock, after 8 o'clock at night.
And I think you feel it's very hard to do that.
In the beginning,
Yes.
yes. In the beginning, yes, it was. And everybody was blaming me. Why you are not communicating us? Why
Yes.
you are not replying? Why you are not tweeting and repeating, replying my tweet? I said, this is me time. This is my family time.
Yes.
And I will not
Waste
break
it. Yes.
break this kind of ball which I'm playing with. In the beginning, they blame me. Then they understand my situation, and by the end, they try to imitate me,
Yes.
because they found it more easier, more organizing for the time. It's very good for the family. By this example, I give the same example for my kids. When I'm talking to you, when I'm sitting to you, it's changed to play with the mobile, through the social media, through whatever you are doing, and this is the time when we talk. In Ramadan, we got another advantage,
Which is?
because we have now a time we should sit together. This is the time of iftar.
Yes.
We are sitting together at least 1 hour during iftar and 1 hour after the iftar.
Yes.
Okay, so of course we have 2 hours, and this is very enough if we communicating in a right way with our kids.
And of course, social media is considered a waste of time, because children can do lots of things instead of doing activities, learning new things. They waste their time on internet, looking for news, chatting. So I think it affected other activities in life, because before, as we were young, there was no social media, and we still were enjoying our lives, and we're
I
doing.
believe we're enjoying much more than
Yes, and
the kids now.
But
Yes.
we cannot ignore that they are more smarter than us.
Yeah.
We should not ignore this.
Yes.
The social media give them some skills, and
But
take
it did still a very important thing, Dr. Hisham, because I believe that when we were young, we did enjoy very, very minimal and simple things in life.
it's emotional part of life.
Yes.
Yeah.
We lost the emotional and feeling part of life. Yes, I agree 100%. I agree with that. But in the same time, he can learn a lot of things I couldn't teach him before. I couldn't transfer to him before. Never I spoke to my daughter about argument. Now she can open the social media to find how to practice such a skill. I never spoke to my kids about painting, but now my daughter can open and try to learn herself how to draw. Such these things, skills, yes, on that level, it adds for them.
Indeed, of course.
So what's your advice now, finally, to all, to families and to children when using social media?
First of all, we as parents, we are the example.
Yes.
We should build the rapport between us and our sons and daughters. If we are not following whatever we are preventing them to do,
Yes.
how can we ask them to stop using the same things? We need first to put some kind of regulations. We can say no without saying no. We should learn how to say no without saying no. Don't say to your kid, don't go to your son or daughter to say, don't use that app, don't use that application, and you are using the same one.
Yes.
Give them the example. Give them a time. When you are giving somebody a time, he cannot practice another thing.
Yes.
And he will use to get such a relationship with you.
Yes. Okay, Dr. Hisham Shaarawi, Human Development Coach, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you very
happy
much.
Ramadan.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of this edition of The Breakfast Show. You were in the company of Mahisti Rabia and Shireen Adil. Thank you very much, Shireen.
Thank you, Mahisti, and see you tomorrow, dear viewers, with a new crew of The Breakfast Show. So, bye.